Hello, boyos. Welcome to
Hi.
the spoiler. Oh, hi. Welcome to the spoiler cast. This is the Loner Cast spoiler cast for. We're back at the MCU. We're back on the MCU. Eternals came out. We went to the theaters. We watched it. We both got COVID.
What?
Just kidding. Just kidding about
Maybe.
that.
Maybe.
Who knows? Who knows?
a few days.
I was sneezing all over the place,
I'm
making
triple
sure I
vaxxed.
rubbed it into every single seat.
Triple vax, so it should be good.
You should be fine. Yeah, we went to the movies. We saw Eternals, a long fucking movie. We did a 12:45 showing. The trailers didn't stop until like 1:15.
True.
It was like they don't care about our time in this theater.
That's true.
And we
hate
didn't get out of
AMC
there,
for
and
that.
we didn't get out of there until like 4 o'clock. I was like, oh my god.
Trailers should really be 3 max, you know? Like 3, maybe 4. I would excuse 4, but they play like 7 of them. It's crazy.
Yeah, and it's for shit that like we know about. We've seen it already,
And
or
then-
like it's nothing new.
And then we get Nicole Kidman at the beginning, like, oh, the movies.
Oh god,
Gotta come
we
to the
we had
movies.
three AMC trailers
Yeah.
within the trailers, and it was like,
We're
what
already
the?
here.
We're here. We
We're
are here.
here.
You have my money.
You're actively
When-
making me not want to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we saw this movie. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll give it a pretty good.
Pretty good out of 10.
Pretty good out of 10. I think some of the problems with this movie is the cast is huge. It's a little too big.
Hmm.
They couldn't really focus on each one, I don't think, very well. There was one character in particular that they really didn't dive into, and I wish they did.
Oh, I'm curious to see which one that is.
Yeah,
Which
it
character?
was the deaf girl, the
Oh,
speedy one.
Makari? I thought
They
I thought it was fine.
like her. I feel like her whole character was she's deaf and fast, and I was like,
But like she had the like her and Druig.
yeah, and Druig. I wish he got a little bit more. He came off like creepy with his like exposition piece that they had. He came off real creepy. And
I
it's like,
felt like he was like a red herring almost. Like they wanted you to think he was gonna be the big villain, right?
really, I didn't get that. at
I
all.
totally took it as like they're setting Druig up as the big villain. So then when Icarus turns out to be the big villain at the end, and by the way, this is a spoiler cast. If you don't
It says it down
like,
here.
come on, get over it. But like when it turns out Icarus is the bad guy, I think it's supposed to be a little bit shocking. Although like, you know, yeah, but like the thing with Icarus being the baddie, it's just like he's a Superman type, and
Yep.
Superman types are always the bad guy, and it's a little played out, but I think it was okay. Yeah, major Homelander vibes, says Mischievous Vixen.
I was just about to say that.
I don't think he had Homelander vibes as much as he had what's the dude from Invincible?
Omni-Man.
Yeah, he felt more like Omni-Man, where it's like
Yeah.
he felt a little bit more nuanced than Homelander, because Homelander's just fucking bad, you know. Where Omni-Man, there's a bit more dimensions. He has a mission that he's trying to accomplish, and I felt the
Right.
same with Icarus.
Yeah. I cannot stand Superman types. They are the worst characters in my humble opinion, and I know that can get me some flack, but fuck Superman types, dude. I just do not understand why, especially in this movie. In this movie, he's like super powerful or whatever. He almost gets killed at one point. And I'm like, oh shit, they're gonna kill the bad guy. I literally thought that in my head. They're gonna kill the bad guy, and then we won't figure out who's actually like the bad guy. Or the characters won't figure out who's the bad guy. But they're just too powerful. Like at one point he's fighting 4 guys all and losing to each of them in certain areas at certain points in the final fight. And it's just like they just and then he just gets out of it and beats them all up. And it's like, dude, this is dumb. Like Superman is dumb. He's a dumb, like if he doesn't have a more um if he doesn't have higher stakes than anybody else, his story is bad. I always like if he's not like struggling between like what is good and what is bad, instead of, you know, bad, there's a big bad guy, I have to fight him. It's not interesting. He should be struggling with, you know, emotions. I guess he should be struggling with his mind um rather than let's beat up this big bad or many of these big bads, you know.
I felt like that's what this movie was, though. This whole movie was pretty heady. I thought the movie was great. Like, I thought, I'm so flabbergasted by looking at the Rotten Tomatoes. It's at like 48% right now.
Oh, dude,
like,
it does not deserve that. This is a good movie.
This
crazy. Is a good movie
because, like you said, there's a lot of characters in this movie, and I agree, there are a lot of characters. So they did have to like kind of, you know, yeah, like maybe they could have spent more time on Makari, but they just don't have the time for it. So
yeah.
But I think with the time they were allotted and the story they were trying to tell, which is the Eternal story from the comic books, I don't think they could have done it any better than this.
The way I could see it is if they put it into a show.
Yeah, I think maybe a show would have done good, but I don't think you could have had it be as grand and epic.
It's epic. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So like I actually thought it was very well done. I cared about every single character. Every single character felt like an interesting character. And I'm going to be honest with you, I was so invested in just the story that they were telling. When Icarus kind of flipped at the end, I was sort of like, oh, I actually didn't really see that coming.
Really?
But when it happened, I was like, oh, that's obvious. He's the Superman.
Right.
I should have seen that coming. But like, well, I didn't see it coming right away. And and it made total sense that Ajax would choose her instead of Icarus. It like clicked in my head immediately. I'm like, oh, it was kind of setting this up.
It was obvious. I just missed it. Yeah.
I was just so invested in what was going on. And like, I just thought all of it was like, and you know me, I'm a character guy. I love characters. And I thought everybody was so good. Like, I really like Cersei. I do have a problem. One problem I have with Cersei, was they kept talking about, oh, she loves humanity and that's why Ajax chose her. She loves humanity. Oh God, she loves humanity. And they kept saying she loves humanity. And I was like, I've never seen her seem to love humanity. You know,
well, you see it at the beginning.
Other than you guys telling me she loves humanity, I've never really seen her love humanity.
You see it at the beginning where she's like, where they're like in Babylonia or whatever, and she's like she's teaching people how to make pancakes or whatever, the rice cakes. But yeah, that's kind of what they get to, and then it's that like,
I just sort of equated that as like, she's trying to blend in. You know, I didn't.
With her fucking like superhero capes and stuff like that.
I guess, but like, you know, what better way to like blend in and be weird than be a fucking museum teacher, you know?
No, I don't mean that. I mean like in the Babylonian times where she's like she's working in the field. She's got her like superhero garb on, and she's just like, you know, this is how you make pancake or whatever. And then Icarus comes over and he's like, you love these people so much.
What's kind of weird that like, you know, during the Babylonian times, they were like very open and like, we're fucking gods, you know?
Mm-hmm. That is, yeah.
And then now it's like, what was the decision to be like, okay, we're not gods anymore. We can't let them know. At what point did that happen? I guess when they all split up is when that happened. But
yeah, okay, yeah, that kind of answers that question.
I guess their whole thing was like, we're just too smart and we can't tell them that much. But Sprite telling stories with magic in the Babylonian times had me confused. She'd be stoned for being a witch. I don't think you could stone Sprite though. I just don't think it would happen. Like if they ever got into trouble, they could easily get out of it, you know?
That, and also they like came like the opening scene is like they're fighting these freaking deterrents or what are the deviants? And they come down in their triangle spaceship and they're like, we're superheroes bitch, and so they kind of like announce themselves as aliens anyway. And as long as they don't harm anybody, I'm sure they're like, okay, well,
I
whoever.
mean,
Yeah.
what are the people gonna do other than accept that they have powers? Mischievous Vixen, like, because, like, what are they gonna be like? No, you need to leave. They just be like, no,
No.
you can't
Yeah.
stop us. We're here to
Freaking-
stay. Get used to it. You know, like
Yeah,
they can't do anything.
Druig would have just freaking mind
You just
controlled them to be like, all right,
over
turn around.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but
His
I
power. No, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I like the jump between modern times and going back in time, and like, because I guess you do kind of see her love for humanity a bit, but like, yeah, I liked all that shit. I liked how it was all paced out, and like,
Mhm.
and how the
It had-
story unfolded.
It had
like,
really good pacing for sure.
like I want to watch it again, you know, to like to
get more of it.
now that I know everything, I can watch it with a different mindset. No, but like I said, I loved every character. I loved when because everything was sort of like everyone's so serious, but then Kumail's character, Kingo,
Ingu?
he shows up and he's great, dude. I love him, and I love his camera guy. Like, he turned out to be a character I ended up liking a lot more than I had anticipated.
Yep, for sure. I'm glad he stuck around, and they were all cool with him sticking around. You know, not like, oh, you're gonna get hurt, bud. You should like leave. They're just like, whatever. You can chill with us, I guess.
Mischievous Vixen says, "I'm curious about where that line got blurred, then disappeared into modern times." What do you mean?
The line of where they showed
stopped
off their powers, and then
I think the line is
dressed
literally
in
when they
normal
all
clothes.
split up and they're like, just go live your life. We defeated all the deviants. Now just go live your life.
I
Go
think
hide. I think
Mhm.
that's kind of the moment where they're like, okay, we'll just go live our things. But also, you know, you got to remember, this is a world where Spider-Man exists, and this is a world where Wanda exists. And so it's not like, you know, and Captain America or Captain Marvel exists. So like, there's probably a lot of shit that's happened in this universe that we haven't seen. And,
Mhm.
you know, the people of the MCU's America are probably not as freaked out by this shit as we would be, you know,
Right.
in our society.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Well,
I
I
think
mean-
when they started with like Iron Man, it was supposed to be like, this is our America. But I think we're at a point now in the MCU where it's like, no, like, half the world got snapped at one point. You know, Captain Marvel was here in the 90s. There's no way they hit all of that shit, and like that would have
Right.
been all over the news, and like,
Yeah.
so I don't know, it's a different universe, you know.
Mhm.
So I don't mind that too much. It's a pretty heady like story, though. The fact that it's like the Celestials, which are these gods, created Earth. Like, they created Earth to
Right.
birth a Celestial.
Right.
Which that's a pretty heavy concept for Marvel, and also something they can't take back now. You know?
Well,
Like,
yeah, it sets up like that. The big thing with Marvel right now that I'm kind of nervous for is the fact that they are just like, we're in space now. Like, space is a thing, and I'm like, where do you go from that? And now they're introducing like Celestials, like fucking Galactus. And
that's
it's like,
definitely the next step. Yeah.
dude, where do we go after Galactus? Like, how much farther can we go? Like, I would hate it if Marvel just turns into space movies. I would hate it.
Well, I don't
if it
think
turned
they
into
will.
Star Trek, and it's just like, oh, now we got to go over here and fight this guy on this planet with all these aliens. I don't think I would like that, because it's
I
not.
hear ya.
But
I don't think they will, because you know, you still have the more grounded stories of, like, you know, the Captain America movies, which is a more like political espionage and stuff, and like, you know, you have your Black Panthers, which are more about like, you know, the city of Wakanda and stuff. And
Mhm.
you still have all that stuff, but yeah, I think, but you're gonna have your Guardians, which are crazy stuff. You're gonna have your Eternals. You're gonna have. I think it's cool that they're breaking into this like pretty, you know, it's
but
totally
now
different for Marvel. This movie, I thought
they've completely scarred Earth with this celestial just
Yeah.
coming out of the Indian Ocean. Like that's a thing that they can't hide. Like that's a thing in this world now.
Well, and people keep saying
There's
that.
just a celestial here.
I keep seeing that online, like, oh, they can't hide this shit, you know, and you know, also Azarath or whatever his name is, like he shows his face, like the entire Earth saw that, you know, like
Well, that side of the Earth, yeah.
yeah, I mean, most of the Earth saw that, and so, but also Thanos has already snapped half of the Earth. It's not like this is some new shit for Earth.
It's true, but if I lived on that Earth and 5 years I was snapped, came back, and then a fucking celestial came out of the Earth, I'd be like, dude, we need to leave. We need to leave. This is getting bananas. Like, it's happening so fast. It's so quick. And I really hope that this is the Spider-Man movie goes into the multiverse so that we can sort of reset some things so that we're not so outstretched. We're not like in Watcher territory, you know, we're not like
I don't think Spider-Man's going to be the movie to do that.
no, but I mean it'll open up the multiverse to be like,
No, 'cause
we have options to go back if we need to.
I think right now, I think that's what Loki is. But like I think right now there's plenty of stories that they can tell within this like very extreme, like crazy space stuff. They need to do an Avengers movie with all of this stuff. They need to do Galactus. That's going to be the next big bad. After Galactus,
Well,
I think you're right. I think like, but that's probably, honestly, 10 films away, if not more.
Oh, more for sure. For
so
sure
like,
more.
I think Marvel's okay for a while. And they can still tell those grounded stories. You know, we're still going to have Fantastic Four eventually. We're going to have Blade, which they hinted at at the end credits of this movie.
That's weird. That's weird, dude. They're bringing Blade into it, which blows my mind because that's about vampires, isn't it?
Hell yeah, it is. Hell yeah, it is, baby.
So, like, Blade, Morbius, like, we're in some weird shit right now.
I think they're setting up their own Midnight Suns right now.
Yeah. It seems like
I actually feel like they're setting up their own Midnight Suns, which is fucking sick, dude. That is so sick. Yeah, I don't know, man. There's a lot in this movie that I was like, I was not expecting that from a Marvel movie. Specifically, like when they were fucking on the ground, I was like, damn. Yeah. I was not expecting, like, he's thrusted.
Full shirts off, full, like, near moans.
I almost saw a nip.
His nip, maybe.
But, like, yeah. It got political. When did it get political? I don't
expect it gets so political.
I don't remember it getting like super political.
I don't remember it getting political either. All right. Anyway, I mean, the whole thing is pro-choice.
I mean, yeah, that's true. I actually kind of got that allegory as well. It totally. You are right. Like I totally got that allegory as well. That's true. I was thinking about that last night. It is sort of like a story about being pro-choice. I mean,
because and killings.
And honestly, Icarus's argument is as stupid as what are they called? Pro-life or whatever. I think that's a bad term for them. But his argument is stupid as hell. When you really think about what his argument is, it's like, well, we have to kill these people so we can make more people.
Well, and also like we've been doing it forever. It's tradition.
Yeah, it's so dumb. And it's like, no, dude, we're gonna fucking kill this celestial so we can save Earth. Eat my ass. This is my planet, you bitch. Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I could see that. That's a good
point. I didn't.
I could see that going over a lot of people's heads, though. And I don't even know if that's really the argument they were intending on making, or like if they intended on making that sort of.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe I definitely saw it there as well.
I could see, I could see that being a thing, and then I could also see the director being like, "No, that's not really what I was going for," but you know.
So Mischievous Vixen says it's like the argument of the train on the tracks hit one person on one track or the family on the other track. But like the difference is there is no family on the other track yet.
Right.
You know? Because they're
Right.
defending the existence of life that doesn't exist yet.
Right.
That would exist because of the celestial.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's like that's why it's such a bad argument. You know, it's yeah.
It's like, who says? You've had your memory erased so much. That was probably the only part of the movie that really slowed down to a grinding halt, is when Cersei meets with Azakar or whatever his name is, and he literally just spells out all of her questions right there, and it's like, huh, okay, I guess that exposition dump was kind of needed.
Yeah. Yeah.
It slowed down pretty good, and then it's just like, okay, we filled everybody in. ... ellipses, we filled everybody in, sort of thing.
Dude, that shot is so striking when it's just like her little body in front of this massive head. It is so like,
well, you don't even
cool.
realize how big it is. You don't know how far he is away.
Yeah, it's such a cool like that. Yeah, that's why I'm like this needed to be a movie and not a show, because like that imagery can only happen in a movie, you know.
Yeah, and it makes me excited for Galactus, because if they can do that, they can get Galactus right, you know.
Yeah.
And especially at the end where he fucking comes up to the planet and you see him as if you're standing on the planet. It's like, fuck, that's terrifying.
This movie sets up so much of the future MCU. But you know, I think a lot of people are worried that like the stakes were so high in this one. How do the stakes matter in the other ones? Well, I think like it's still fine to tell smaller stories, you know? And I think like we're going to see a movie like Shang-Chi and still care about a smaller story like that. And these bigger stories can exist as well. It's just like comic books. That's why I love this shit. Like I love the direction MCU is going, because this is how comic books are. There's like the really crazy, intense space shit where there's like the gods facing each other, you know, Eternals.
And then you've got Iron Fist fighting off ninjas.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Just like, okay.
Yeah. I do think DC's versions of Eternals is more interesting. The new gods with Darkseid and stuff. It's a bit more interesting.
I don't know about that.
It's made by the same guy. He felt burned by Marvel, so he went over to DC and told the story he actually wanted to tell.
The same story? Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, go ahead.
I do want to ask, who was your favorite character?
That's tough.
It's tough. They're really good. They're all really good.
You know who I really liked? And I wish we saw more of was Gilgamesh.
Okay. I'm on the other side of the coin on that one. I thought Athena was really fucking good. They were so good. And yeah, I wish we got more of their stuff where she's like losing her memories and her mind is going crazy. It's almost kind of like dementia or something like that. It's like, fuck, this is sad. And like he's like such a good friend and he hangs out with her even though like he's in danger almost the whole time.
Yeah. It's like a case.
What is her name? She did
Jolie.
Angelina Jolie. She did such a good job as that.
Yeah. I loved because they did it perfectly where it's like this is this fierce woman, right? Like she's, you know, the strongest. You know, her and Icarus are probably
evenly matched. If she could fly, they'd be evenly matched.
You know, it's basically Wonder Woman to Superman. You know, like both are just incredibly strong, and she's incredibly strong, but she's also broken. You know, she has Alzheimer's, you know, and like it's kind of a story of like a caretaker and taking care of someone with Alzheimer's, and it was such a great story, and also interesting that like they are machines basically, and they can only hold so much in their head, and they've been there for so, like, I loved that. I thought that was so interesting, and like and I would have liked, like, I could watch like a whole just like depressing ass movie about the two of them living together. Just give some like up and coming director like $8 million to make this like cheap like indie movie about this superhero who can't control herself, you know. Like I would have loved that. That I love that dynamic. I also really liked Makari, the speedster. I thought all the stuff with the speed, I like how they handled the speedster, because normally with speedsters the way they do it is slow-mo, right? And it's like, let's slow it down. They did no slow-mo. It's just like, she's fast as fuck, boy.
she fast as fuck, and she slows down when she wants to.
Yeah. And she went okay, to get back to your Superman point, because I never really got to chime in on that. I'm sorry.
No, I know where you're going with this. I want to get back to this conversation.
Okay, to go back to your Superman point, I am torn on the whole Superman thing. I think they could have made him like, maybe make him weaker, and like his main power is just a laser out of his eyes and he can fly, but they also made him super strong. Maybe don't make him as strong, you know, have Gil be the really strong one, you know, and maybe that would have worked out. So I kind of agree to a certain extent. And also you could have made Kingo or whatever his name is, Kumail. Yeah. They could have made his like lightning things. They could have been lasers like his eyes. So then he's like equally matched.
Well, I really enjoyed the balls, the energy balls that was happening. I'm like, that is such a cool power. They don't really go into how badass he could actually be and like cool things he could do, because he's just shooting shit. You know, there's at one point where he like makes a really big one and blows off a deviant's head. It's like, that was pretty cool, but you don't see him do like some crazy shit. You don't see him like do gunslinger shit. You know,
I think he'll be back though. We'll see him again.
Oh yeah. But I thought his powers, not his character, but his powers were undershined in this one.
But with
kind of the inverse of the flashy lady, the speedster.
I thought they did a good job of showing how each one of them kind of does go toe to toe with him. And I feel like they were all kind of holding back, right? Like they didn't want to kill him because they love him, you know, like that's why this movie is so good. They show the friendship of all of them so well. Like there's so much good slice of life stuff. And none of the jokes feel like Marvel jokes, you know. They all feel like natural, like we're ribbing each other like a buddy.
A family.
Like a buddy would rib someone, you know.
Except for maybe the valet guy.
Yeah,
there were some points where he's like, "Did you get that?" And he blows the thing's head off. Did you get that? I did, sir. And I was like, oh, "Okay, that's pretty funny."
But even he was like had some heart to him, because like at the end he's like,
at the end,
just want to like thank you guys, you know, for everything, you know.
Yeah.
But like I thought they did a good job of showing like that Makari can like hold her own against Icarus. I forget his name. Henry Thomas Henry.
Oh yeah, he's got a weird name, doesn't he?
Eternals. I want to make sure we get it right. Sorry,
his name?
Sorry, Chad. The guy from Fastos. Brian Tyree Henry. He's from Atlanta. He's fucking great. And like they showed him, and like he just fucking held him down with his technology. Like he's so smart that like
I felt like that would have been like should have been the end. He was just held down there, and then he breaks out of it, and I'm like, oh come on, dude. Like,
but like I said, it held him there, and they could have killed him there,
right?
But they chose not to.
Yeah,
because he's family. So
Yeah.
over time, he was able to get out. You know,
I guess.
and I loved Fastos as well. I thought he
Fastos was.
he was the one that made me like care about humanity because he had his
Mhm.
family and stuff, and I was like,
Mhm.
okay, this is kind of like, it's better than Cersei, who's just like, I care about humanity because I say I do.
Yeah.
It's like with him, we actually got to see him with his family, and like he
Mhm.
loved his family, and like I liked all that stuff, and I
Yeah.
liked his technology and stuff, where he
Yeah.
like he had the windows were able to
Yeah.
withstand the lasers and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think the worst the worst characters in this were Cersei and Icarus.
and
Just
even still, I
because
liked them a lot.
yeah, I like them. I like them for sure, but Cersei was just kind of felt like a insert character here, you know? She has a power and she likes humanity. That's her thing. She doesn't
Yeah.
have a character really. Icarus had a character and I hated it. You know, it was just like, yeah, okay, it's stupid character, easy.
I thought they both were perfectly cast though. Like I
Yeah, they
thought
did. They did great. They
they
did
were
great.
both great.
Honestly.
I think Sprite is a character that's super interesting that I think the MCU just can't handle. That's a character that, and I don't think you can do that character in live action and make it as interesting as it is in the comic books. And I think Invincible does it better because there's a whole line of stuff to think about with Sprite that you can't really go into in full detail in the MCU. They kind of hint at it where she like goes on a date, but she's just like projecting herself
Right.
as
Right. Yeah.
something else.
Older. Yeah.
Right. Because that's a big part of her in the comics, and that character in Invincible, who has the same sort of thing where she's just constantly a child. But you know, the whole like, I can't be in a relationship with someone without it being incredibly weird and creepy.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
is, it's a very interesting sort of dilemma to be in as a person, especially a person that's alive for, you know, 7,000 years. You'd think people who were alive for 7,000 or even longer, however long they were there, because we don't know how long they were there. We just know they were free for 7,000 years.
Right. Right.
But you would think for people like that they would be a bit more like corrupt and
Mm-hmm.
evil. But this is the MCU,
Yeah.
so like you
Yeah.
think they would be a bit
You
more
think-
jaded and you know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Especially with Fastos, because like he's just like, I don't want to trust humanity anymore when the bombs go off. And then the next scene you see him with his family and you're like, oh, okay, he worked it out. You know,
Yeah,
he worked it
He
out.
went to counseling. He's fine. The only one that really had that sort of thing was Druig, who like was
Mhm.
basically a dictator over this like little village.
Mhm.
So I thought I would have expected more of that from them, but I mean I understand they're trying to show like these people are really good despite all of that.
Yeah. You want to get into some trivia?
I would
Some
love
interesting
to.
facts?
Yeah, please.
Just a couple of them. The cast and crew were evacuated from Canary Islands set in November 2019 due to the discovery of some bomb remnants from a military shooting range near the set. That's cool. Gemma Chan didn't expect to return to the Marvel Cinematic Universe after appearing in Captain Marvel until Kevin Feige approached her while promoting Crazy Rich Asians to play a new character in some further production, which ended up being Cersei in the film. She was in the MCU already at some point.
Yeah, she
I don't-
was.
I don't know who she was.
She was in
Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Mhm. I don't
I did-
remember who she was.
It's a very. It's like a
Small thing.
blink and you'll miss it sort of deal.
Apparently Chloe Zhao, I think that's the director,
Chloe Zhao,
used
yeah.
used practical effects for the film and didn't do very much green screen.
That's awesome. It's a beautiful movie up until that first end credits scene. That little fucking leprechaun man, played by Patton Oswalt, was some of the worst CG I've ever seen in my goddamn life.
Really?
Dude, that looks
Even
so
worse than
fucking-
Spider-Man 3?
Dude, yes, it looked fucking atrocious. That little leprechaun man that introduces Harry Styles. You didn't think that looked fucking atrocious? I was just like blown away by how bad that looked. I'm like, they need to either fix this shit or just throw this character in the trash because that
it's an end credit scene. You know,
but still, like you'd think you'd want it to be the best for the end credits, but
Eternals is a second MCU film that Ramin Djawadi has scored. The first being the original Iron Man.
Yeah, I did know that.
Makari, who was portrayed by deaf actress Lauren Ridloff, was also deaf. She played a deaf person, and she is a deaf person.
I liked it.
Movie. Yeah, she was great. Kumal Nanjiani found Kingo, that's his name, found Kingo's Bollywood dance routine to be difficult. He said he's not a trained dancer and took lessons. Had to take lessons.
Dude, they do such a good job with him. Sorry, this happens every time you tell fun facts. I always interject with something else. I love the fact that they like show that he loves Icarus so much that he's like making a movie about Icarus. You know, like that is such a good way to show that he loves Icarus.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And it shows it at the end of the movie too. Keanu Reeves, Luke Evans, Rami Malek, and Ian McShane were considered for the role of Druig before Barry Keoghan was cast.
Damn, son. Keanu Reeves would have been fucking good in that role.
You think so?
Yeah, that would have been fucking great. I always thought he'd play Adam Warlock, though, but that's not happening either. That's not happening either.
Running at 157 minutes, 2 hours and 37 minutes. This is the second longest running film in the MCU after the Avengers Endgame, which ran 181 minutes.
3 hours.
3 hours and 1 minute. It is the 26th film. That's a lot of fucking movies. Oh, this is cool. The film was partially shot on 16 millimeter Ektachrome film. That's pretty cool. In the comics, Ajak, Makari, and Sprite are males. In the movie, they are females. Cool.
I knew that.
Kingo is an Indian movie star in the film, but in the comics, he is an East Asian national and is a martial arts star.
This is a cool direction. I like the Bollywood thing. I think it's cool.
It is cool.
I like the like family dynasty too. I thought that was really funny.
Where he's like, this is my great grandfather. This is my grandfather. Yeah. That was my dad. That was really
this
funny.
is me. Yeah.
Millie Bobby Brown denied having a role in the film.
She probably would have played Sprite, eh?
Probably.
Dude, the actor who played Sprite was very good.
Yeah.
She did a great job.
I think that's pretty much it. There's a couple other things here, but none of them seem to be. First MCU film to receive an 18+ rating in Russia, probably due to the sex scene.
Probably also because of the gay kiss.
Also, the same-sex relationship is illegal in that country.
And I got to give it to Disney, dude, because and normally Disney would edit that shit out for other countries, but they said for this film, no, you guys have to deal with it.
Wow.
Or just don't play it. Which is super cool. Like
that is really cool. Yeah. Yeah, that is one last one. I don't know if this is good, but it's long. Marvel considered the Eternals to be a perfect transition into its next phase of films, along with projects such as Captain Marvel, as it allowed the studio to cast a diverse group of actors to portray the various Eternals. In February 2019, Feige reiterated that Marvel was interested in characters due to Kirby's immense, amazing epic with Eternals that spins tens of thousands of years. in the comics because they wanted to create more ensemble films from the start, like Guardians of the Galaxy, rather than build up an ensemble crossover as they did with the Avengers and introduce characters that the majority of the world would have never heard of, as they did with Guardians of the Galaxy and the Avengers.
That's something I was gonna say about this film. It does better than the Avengers as far as like setting it up an ensemble.
Mm-hmm.
The first Avengers movie, because like the first one, we had movies beforehand setting them up, and it still just felt so disconnected and like poorly set up. This one, we've never met any of these characters before, and even still, we had to set up these characters and show the relationships, and I thought this movie nailed it. So
yeah, I think they did a great job with it. I just opened up the Lonercast MCU rankings.
Oh, I got it.
So here we go. If you want to rattle them off.
At number 1, we've got Loki. At number 2, we've got Iron Man. At number 3, we've got Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings. At number 4, we've got Guardians of the Galaxy. At number 5, we've got WandaVision. At number 6, we've got Captain America and the Winter Soldier. At number 7, we've got Captain America, the First Avenger. At number 8, we've got Ant-Man. At number 9, we've got the Avengers. At number 10, we've got Black Widow. At number 11, we've got Falcon and the Winter Soldier. At number 12, we've got Iron Man 3. At number 13, we've got Avengers Age of Ultron. At number 14, we've got Iron Man 2. At number 15, we've got The Incredible Hulk. At 16, we've got Thor the Dark World. And at 17, we have Thor.
I want you to think of where you're going to put it. I have to think of where I want to put it.
Yeah, I think I've got it.
I think I've got it as well.
This is a tough one.
I actually think I have it. I think I know.
Okay, you go first because I'm still kind of thinking.
Okay.
What do you think?
I'm thinking right here.
Dude, man after my own heart.
No shit. No way.
Yeah.
Really?
I was torn on either putting it there or
one under
or above Ant-Man, but I think right there is perfect because it really is a good movie. You know,
like, it is, and it does a good job. The way I do it is I go down this list. And I'm like, is it better than this? No. Is it better than this? No. And then I got to Captain America's one, and I'm like, is it better than Captain America? I don't know. And that's where I'm like, probably.
Yeah.
Probably. The characters in this movie are so good, and I think they're better than the Captain America movies. I think they developed the characters a little bit better than the Captain America ones.
Yeah, so that was that was where I kind of got stuck too. I was like, is it better than Winter Soldier? It's certainly better than the Avengers, and it's certainly better than Ant-Man.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's
better
than like a toss up
for sure.
This is a toss up right here.
Yeah, those three. I think this is good though. I actually think that's good. It's definitely better than Captain America: The First Avenger. The more I think about that, yeah, I think it is. Winter Soldier is just such a good movie.
It is.
Eternals just tells. I think it's just such a special movie. I think when it comes to the MCU, and it tells this like epic story and like. She nails it.
It's brand new too. It's not like there's not like that end scene that's really weird in Winter Soldier. You know, that's just kind of like, all right,
true.
Everything kind of has its place other than the exposition dump. I think that's the only part of the movie where I'm like, okay, and that's only so much of the movie.
True, I'm with you. Yeah, well,
that's what we got, boys, girlos. That's not what I wanted to do.
Wow, dude, we've been agreeing on like everything.
Isn't that crazy? That's fucking crazy to me. Yeah. At least most like we're pretty close.
I'm wondering if we should. Man, Loki just seems pretty high now that I think about it, but I don't know.
Maybe we should just watch it again.
I can't do it, dude. There's too much shit. It's so long. It's just so much.
It's pretty long, but like we could do it. Like you just, it's not like one of those things. Like we just do it in our free time, and it's
Yeah,
just like,
yeah.
okay, yeah. Well,
I-
we
I'll
we thought
probably-
about it. We both watched it, and then
I'll probably wait closer to like when the second season comes out. Maybe I'll rewatch it again.
well, or closer to when we get done with this list.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Which we're getting there, dude. We are getting there.
We fucking are, aren't we?
We are getting there. We
It's-
still have quite a few movies, but like we're getting there.
What did I say? 26. This was the 26th movie.
27th.
26. This is the 26th Marvel Cinematic movie. So we have about 8 more.
Well, consider that we have we have 3 shows on there as well. So
Right, but we have 8 more movies that are already out, plus whatever comes up, plus the shows that are
Spider-Man.
coming out.
yeah,
Yeah. So
I mean we'll be reviewing Marvel movies for the rest of time because they're just gonna keep releasing them. But
yeah,
it'll be easier when it's like we just have to do one of these, once every 3 months.
once every couple months, or
You
once
know,
the
rather
show
than every week.
finishes. Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
I am excited for those days. But
Yeah,
I've had so much fun just rewatching all of these and like ranking them. I've never like really ranked them like this before, so it's been fun.
It's cool to bounce ideas off of you and just be like, yeah, this is my ideas, and I can see your points of view, rather than
Yeah.
just talking about it and going, nah, dude, you're wrong. Like it's way better than that movie. And now we have like a concrete list where it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, we kind of agree basically with these right here. We understand each other's points, and it's kind of a give and take here. I have a worrying suspicion that the next phase is going to be very controversial between us,
I think when we get to Ragnarok, we're gonna have to throw bones, dude.
and we might have to throw bones. We might have to throw bones, but we'll come to an agreement. We might have to split the difference or something, and that's just gonna throw this whole list off.
That's all right.
Um,
That's all right.
it's the Loner Cast MCU ranking.
That's
It's
right.
nobody else's. It's not Jake's. It's not mine. It's both of us together.
It'd probably be easier if we had a third person here, just to like really split the difference. But whatever.
Yeah, somebody really hates it, somebody middling, and then somebody really loves it, and it's like, well, fuck me then.
Yeah, we'll just put it up top. Yeah. Anyway, well, that's the
Thanks.
show.
Thanks for watching. Check out our other Loner Cast shows. We're putting so much content out. Next week we're doing Spider-Man. The Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah, I'm super excited for these 2 movies. These are my favorite Spider-Man movies. Kill me. Well, don't, because I like Spider-Man. I want to see the new one. But yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.